So the last chapter we read, Hart got in trouble because he accidentally shot Mr. Minor in the neck with a rubber band. And he went to see his principal for it, and he ended up getting detention. Yikes. We'll find out what happens next. Chapter 4 is called Bad Behavior. I wonder what that could be about. At 7 minutes after 3, Mr. Minor stormed into the principal's office. Please tell me I didn't just see that Evans kid getting on a bus to go home, out there laughing and joking around with all his buddies. Tell me I'm seeing things. Like a kid who shoots a teacher with a rubber band going home instead of staying after school. Tell me I'm blind. Tell me I'm crazy. Tell me something. Anything. Mr. Richards got up and closed his door. David, this is the second time today I've had to ask you not to shout in my office. Please, sit down. I don't want to sit down. Mr. Richards glared at him. He pointed at one of the blue plastic chairs in front of his desk. David, sit. The principal sat in the other blue chair. Yes, that was Hart. And you saw him getting on that bus because both his parents work, and his mom expects him to be at home with his younger sister after school. It would have been difficult for the parents if Hart had stayed for detention today. If a boy misbehaves, we punish the boy, not his parents. So relax. Starting tomorrow, Hart will be staying after school for the next 2 days. Mr. Minor popped up halfway out of his chair. 2 days? Only 2 days? Mr. Richards nodded. That's right, 2 days detention. I don't believe Hart hit you on purpose. And he's staying after school 2 days for shooting rubber bands at school. That's fair, and that's the end of it. So let it go, David. Do you understand me? Let it go. Or what? Asked Mr. Minor. You can't fire me twice. Mr. Richards paused. He'd had a feeling this was going to come up. In a gentler voice, he said, You haven't been fired, David, and you know it. It's a town budget crisis. That means that the town is running out of money to pay the teachers. All the schools are cutting staff. I told you that a month ago, and I had nothing to do with deciding that the art and music teachers would be the first ones to go. I know that losing your job is upsetting, but you cannot let your personal situation affect your behavior at school. My behavior? Mr. Minor made it all the way to his feet on that one. What do you mean, my behavior? David, sit down. I'm talking about this afternoon with Hart. You overreacted, and I had to ask you to let go of the boy's arm. Do you have any idea how big of a problem that could have been for you and for the school district? What if you had made bruises on Hart's arm? What if you had hurt his shoulder? That could have been on the evening news today, and for all we know, it still might be. The kind of anger you displayed today was completely unprofessional. So that's the behavior I'm talking about. Mr. Minor turned and looked out the windows. The last 2 buses were pulling away. The principal kept talking. I'm sorry about the town's money problems, and I'm very sorry your job will end on January 1st. You have a right to be upset about that. It's a rotten Christmas present. You're a terrific music teacher, David, and I hate losing you, but there's nothing I can do about it. I did get the school board to keep your names out of the local news until the Christmas vacation begins, and I understand why you and the other teachers made that request. It'd be even worse with everyone walking around feeling sorry for you. So we all just have to make the best of a bad situation. Make the best of it, said Mr. Minor, still facing the windows. Easy for you to say. No, said Mr. Richards, it's not easy. We went through this 8 years ago, the same thing, and there's nothing easy about it. Not for me, not for anyone. Mr. Minor didn't respond, so the principal added, If there were anything I could do about this, I'd have done it by now. I'm still hoping the district can come up with the money we need before the end of the year, but that's a long shot. And if I can help with recommendations as you look for other jobs, you know I've got nothing but good things to say about you and your work. Mr. Minor just sat there, his face turned away. After an awkward silence, Mr. Richards said, Listen, we've got a faculty meeting in 15 minutes, and I've got to get ready, so I'll see you there. The music teacher stood up. I won't be at the meeting. Mr. Richards said, Oh, then I guess I'll see you tomorrow. Mr. Minor nodded and walked out of the office. It sounds to me like there may be some reasons other than Hart shooting the rubber band that Mr. Minor's in a bad mood. It would be awful to lose your job, especially right around Christmas. Can't imagine being in that situation. Your secret word for tomorrow is SpaghettiOs. Thanks for watching. See you guys tomorrow morning. Bye.